All right, welcome back, everyone. I just want to start by saying again, once again, this is sponsored content because the fine folks at Melonare did send me the LM2 set of wireless mics to try out, and we are going to unbox that. That is not what I'm currently using. So let me get into a little bit of why I wanted to try these out when they were offered. So my studio, such as it is part of our very small, very busy house because we don't go anywhere. So I constantly share with my wife and my daughter who are still here. And unless I want to be doing all my videos at 3 in the morning, spoiler, I don't. I have to do that when there is life going on in the house. So occasionally you will hear stuff in the background of my videos. I use OBS, which does have a noise filter, which I'm currently running on here, but it doesn't always catch everything. And so one of the features on this was an AI noise reduction feature, which I thought sounded pretty interesting. Also because I plan on going out in the world to do some content at some point too, and being able to filter that and have mainly just my voice and not a whole bunch of background noise to deal with when I'm editing would be fantastic. So with that being said, let's talk a little bit about what this is. So just a quick spoiler, I did take this out because it is a charging case with it that you do need to charge up, but I wanted to show you how everything is packaged and what it looks like when it comes to you. So first things first, you have your handy manual. There's the nice little styrofoam inserts, which Melonare has used in a lot of their products, which is great because it holds everything together safely for the travel. Your microphone and receiver come in the case, which comes in the handy little bag, which keeps everything together. I will make one note as I pull these out to show you what is going on with the receiver and two mics. That is a little dark. See if you guys can see that in there now. I'll have to see what that looks like when I edit the video. Sorry, it's just the lighting of a poor YouTuber. So yeah, it comes in this rechargeable case, and it is handy because when you pull things out and plug them back in, it shows you how much percentage is left on the charge of the case. So I've used a little bit of this because I've been playing around with them to get a little bit of an idea how to do it. But generally, after you charge it for 2 hours, that'll say 100. There's 30 hours total charge time with the case, which basically means you get 10 hours of life on the receiver and the two transmitters before you have to throw it in the case and charge it again. The case will charge them up twice, so you get a total of 30 hours time. It's plenty of time for doing general recordings. I mean, heck, at 8 to 10 hours, you're going to get most of a day's worth of recording. So if you're walking around an event, this is going to be perfect for that. As I've said in other videos, I like to use wireless stuff because I have a very small space as well. So, and I'm clumsy. And eliminating the opportunity to pull cables across anything on the desk or trip on them is a bonus for me. The included adapters, which are also in the box, you have a USB-A to USB-C, so you can use it with any device that supports USB. You have a 3/8 inch adapter to 3/8 inch, so you can use it with anything that supports a normal headphone output. And there are a couple of other adapters in here, mainly being USB-C to USB-C. So if you're using it with a phone or a tablet, and there is a 3/8 inch to 1/4 inch adapter, which will be handy for something else I want to try because I haven't used these wireless mics in that fashion because I didn't have an option to, or at least I don't think I did. But in any case, we're going to leave all that right there. It operates on a 2.4 gigahertz connection, which is pretty standard Bluetooth for your phones, other wireless devices like wireless guitar adapters. So I try and keep a mix of stuff using UHF 5.8 gigahertz and 2.4 gigahertz, even though I think 2 or even 3 devices at a time isn't going to cause any problem. But if you're in a crowded situation, like out and about where there are a lot of cell phones going on, you may experience some issues. I didn't run across any when I was testing on my own, but just thought I'd put that out there. The transmitters and receivers automatically pair, and this is where I'm going to mention something too. When I first got the kit, on the bottom of each mic and receiver, there was a sticker over the charging points, which is good because it keeps it from draining the pack on the way and also anything else that you don't want happening mid-transit. You don't want to kill the batteries. So you've got to take those off before you charge up the case and put it up. But 2 hours later, I've got a full charge. We'll just take one of the mics out. And they power on automatically when you take them out. And it's looking for, got the receiver and the transmitter. And you can see that they're paired up. It's looking for it's flashing because it's looking for the second mic. Let me close the cover and that should stop. No, it'll keep looking for the second mic. Let me pull both of them out so you can see when that stops. So it should stop now. It's finding both. Oh, you know what? When you take, let's go back. When you take them out. All right. So you may have noticed a small change in lighting here because this is a little bit later. I did cut. I was having problems showing you guys how to get everything to pair and turn them on. And that's because I was following the quick start guide on the listing page and not paying attention to what I did when I was actually working with these before. So it says that they're supposed to automatically pair, which I think is true if they are off when you turn them on. So I did the Gen X method of last resort, which was the manual. Because we don't read those, right? Anyhow, so when you pull these out of the charging case, they automatically turn on and it goes into pairing mode. So I've pulled out the receiver first, pulling out one of the mics now. And yeah, that was the order of operations there. So now one is solid, one is blinking because it's still looking for the other mic. I will pull out the other mic and it turns on and they both go solid. So they are both paired. However, let's put those back in. And if you find yourself in a hurry and think, oh, well, I'm going to grab my mic and go ahead and set that up first. So I've pulled my mic out first. It is now looking, mic, the transmitter, and the receiver. And this time it did automatically pair. Okay. So if they don't automatically pair, the easy thing you can do on each transmitter or microphone, there are 3 buttons. The top one is the power button. 3 quick clicks starts it repairing. 1, 2, 3. And you can see it flashed real quick and now it's solid. Here, I'll even do it on camera. 1, 2, 3. And it found the receiver. Probably even switched frequencies. So if you're getting any kind of interference, that might be a good operation to do. 1, 2, 3, click it. The other thing you can do, by default, that first green light is on. That is the normal noise reduction. Let's see if we can get that thing. If you click the power button twice, it goes to the AI noise reduction. Click it again twice, and now it's off altogether. That is the normal environment option that they call it. And you'll have seen those in the screenshots that I had up before. So I'm going to put these away for just a second because I did want to demonstrate something with the current mic I'm using. You might be hearing a little bit of extra noise because there is stuff going on in the other room, but I'm also going to play one of YouTube's royalty-free backing tracks that I've had in the background just to see, from my computer, just to see if this picks up while we're chatting here. So it's going at about, I want to say 35% volume on the audio player, and I'm not sure if you're hearing that or not, but I'm going to ramp it up to about 70% of the actual volume. I won't know until I watch this back, and I'll put up a thing over here saying, yep, you guys were hearing it, I was hearing it. So we'll see how this noise reduction, whatever level it does with the OBS and this mic, works. So let's pause this. And I'm going to take just a minute here to disconnect this mic, and I'm going to connect the Melonare so we can compare the volume levels via USB, and then I will run the music again through the 3 different modes. First with just the environmental, which means no noise reduction other than what's on OBS itself. Then I'll ramp it up to the normal that it goes on by default when you turn them on, which is minus 10 decibels. And then I'll turn on the AI noise reduction and we'll see what we get out of it. And again, I won't be able to monitor or hear that because it's USB. I can't monitor through the audio interface anything that's happening. But what we will do at the end is I will try and run the receiver through the mic input on the audio interface, because number one, I can monitor it then, and we'll do the distance test then, and I'll be using my headphones with the Melonare in-ear monitor, wireless in-ear monitor thing, so I can take a walk. I know how far those go from a previous video. All right, guys, so I've got them hooked up. I don't have it connected right now. This is about where it's going to sit. This is going to sound a little softer. I did notice on each of the similar to the in-ear monitor things, there are volume buttons on the receiver and the transmitter. So I'm going to try and go volume up on the receiver to see if we get anything. That's actually going lower, it looks like. So let me take a look here. All right, so we've got the volume as high as it's going to go. It's pretty similar. I'm going to just up the input on this just a little bit. Let me goes on with the normal noise reduction by default. That is one difference in these two. These are clips only, and the other set I had, yeah, I don't really like that that's doing it. The neck of this, it's going to drag it down, so let's clip it onto the shirt. That is one thing I wish that we did have some magnets for these to put them on, because you can place them more naturally, I think, with magnets. Might be something I look and see if it's something I can just get something that I can glue onto the back and do it. I don't think it would fit in the charging case though. So based on the meter readings in OBS, this should be about the same volume as my other mic. I'm not going to hold that against anything that this one was a little softer than the others. They're different equipment. They have different chipsets. They might have different bass volumes and output from the get-go. So that's where we're going to leave it. So I've got these on. Right now it's in the normal mode. All right, now we have full ambient settings on, and I'm going to play a little bit of the music, which you should probably hear. Let's turn that volume back down to about, what was it at, 35% on the audio player, and we'll just play a little bit more. So you guys should be hearing this pretty well, even with me talking. I'll stop talking for a second. Yeah, I can see it on the monitors that it is a little low level. Let's turn it up a little bit more. All right, that's about 70 where I had it for the other one. And like I said, I'll put up the results again here on the side of what we're hearing versus the other ones. I do think this is, with the ambient room noise, is pulling in quite a bit more. All right, let's pause that. We'll crank it back down to 35 again. And what we're going to do is one double click rather. Sorry, it's an odd angle for me to be looking down at my chest. All right, that should be the normal noise reduction. Let's clip that back on. And we'll start the music again at 35. That doesn't seem much different than the ambient to me. So let's crank it up to 75 quick, or 70, sorry. Yeah, that seems about the same as what we are getting with the AI noise reduction on supposedly. This could be user error, but I know for sure when we get the AI on. All right, pause that once more. Let's go back down to 35-ish. And all right, that's telling me I have the AI noise reduction on. It's picking up my voice just fine still. But when I stop talking like that, there's absolutely nothing going on the input. So it seems to be a much more aggressive noise reduction. We'll have to see what that does to the sound quality here as we're listening too. All right, back to the music. All right, so it's not perfect. You guys are probably still hearing that a little bit. I think it's probably, I don't know if it's picking that up as not non-ambient noise because it's coming from the computer. We'll see when I go outside for the walk. I am going to crank this up to about the 70% again. We'll see what it's doing to the sound when I play back. All right, let me stop this. Give me just a minute here, and we're going to do test number 2, where we are going to use this adapter to plug it into a mic input so that I can at least monitor what's going on there. I'm also going to set up my headphones, so give me 1 second, guys. All right, guys, I did get it set up. I did use the adapter into the mic input of my audio interface. I'm getting just a slight lag, and I don't know if that's the mics or the in-ear monitor thing. All right, we're back, and it sounds pretty good. It's okay. It's just not as high as it was. I cannot seem to get any more volume out of this, and that's where we're at. Plugging the adapter into the back with the 3/8 inch cord, I don't know if this was because it's not listed in the manual as a designed use, or if I need a different kind of adapter. I had to slightly pull the 1/4 inch adapter out to get it to register any sound. So what we're going to do, I'm going to start up video on my phone, and we're going to go for a short walk because I know how far these can get me. And then we'll compare that to when I start hearing things cut out. All right, we're at the door. The AI noise cancellation is still on, so we shouldn't get a whole lot of ambient noise out here. We'll find out. I'm just gonna
Disconnected. Connected.
Okay, it cut out as soon as I got outside the door. Now again, I'm gonna leave my door open and see how that does. I think the my metal cord board, which I'm already getting a little bit of breakup, so it's
Disconnected.
all right, guys. So I'm back. I'm on USB, so it's a little bit louder. I'm going to make a note that during the sections where I was using it through the audio interface, which I think this is not designed for, or at least with that type of adapter, I know you might need a TRS adapter versus just the standard 3/8 to 1/4 inch. I think this is for if you are going to plug it into a traditional input, a traditional input versus the A, which, like I said, I don't think it's designed for. So I did bump up the volume after the initial sound level test for you guys. As far as the product itself goes, I did try and do another distance test, running it through USB like I am now to make sure that the audio interface wasn't causing the interference. I had the same results closing the door. So again, I'm not going to hold that against Melonare because I had the same issue with the UHF microphone adapters. And I do think it's my environment. I have a lot of walls here. It is old construction, metal corridor, so there are things that were causing potential interference. And speaking with them on the UHF ones, they did say that this was not the environment that it was designed for those distances. Now, again, I'm in a house. I'm not going to get 130 feet away from my recording areas. So this is going to work perfectly for my use. I encourage you to find other reviews on Amazon, socials, YouTube, etc., where somebody might be testing this in a more open environment, line of sight, where I think you're going to get a lot closer to that 130 feet. So my final thoughts on these, yeah, I'm definitely going to keep using these. I think they work just as good, if not better, than the devices I currently use. And besides that, it's nice to have a backup set because I have two different, whoops, over there, two different areas where I record when I'm working on the bench. So it might be nice to have different mic sets so I don't constantly have to be swapping adapters between PCs and laptop. A couple things that I would suggest to Melonare that I might like to see in future releases. One would be a 5.8 gigahertz version, which I understand might be a little more expensive, but it might also give us a little better chance of operating without interference because there's not as many devices currently that are using that bandwidth. It would have been nice to have the windscreens included for them as well, since it does look like they are set up. Because they've got the notches right there. It's not gonna focus on it, is it? But on either side of the mic, there are notches where you could plug in the windscreens, the little fuzzy things to prevent wind noise. which will be a problem even with noise reduction on. It also would have been nice to have an option to hang this differently than just the standard clip on a shirt. That's one reason I went with the other mics that I had, because they had the magnet thing, which makes it easier to move around. I might be able to do something on my own with this, but I don't think it would then fit in the charging case. We'll see. I'll give it a shot with some stuff I have. The other option would be maybe just to get yourself some kind of lanyard, a short lanyard that you could hang it on, because as you saw when I hung it on my shirt, it just folded the shirt collar down. So something that would give it a little more position to stay in place, or something to keep straight up and down. But other than that, I don't have any real problems with the product at all. For 75 bucks, I think you could do far worse. There's similarly priced products, but again, it depends on where you're shopping. Also, I think these perform just fine. I think the noise reduction performed a little better than the other set. We'll leave that up to you guys. You can tell me what you heard in the demos that I did. And if you want to try them, go for it. If this doesn't work out for you, ordering through Amazon, the return policy is super simple, and you're going to get your money back right away, anyways. I don't think you have anything to lose by trying them. I would like once more to thank Melonare for the opportunity to do another review for them. And as far as the company goes, Melonare has been very open about not telling me what to say, not saying that I have to give this a glowing review, not saying don't mention this, don't mention that. They want honest feedback. They seem to be a company that is interested in making their products better for all of us. And as far as if you have any problems, reach out to them via their socials, direct messaging, email, Amazon page. They are very responsive. I've usually gotten a response within 24 hours, depending on whether it's the weekend business days. But they're very responsive to feedback and to answer any questions you might have about any of their products. As for the rest of you guys, thanks again for watching, and until the next one.